Hi guys, it's Nathan with Chapman's quarantine activity number 12, pet maintenance. So I have a couple of golden retrievers, Sullivan and Tulip, and maintaining them is kind of costly and takes a little bit of work. They eat an awful lot. They poop even more than they eat, and they're such furry animals that the dog hair, it gets everywhere, and if you don't brush it really regularly, it gets all matted up. Of course, they do make up for it in just affection and the fun factor. They're very, very loving animals. But if you're looking for a pet that isn't quite so time-consuming to take care of, you might want to consider mealworms. I was closing up my classroom last week, and I took one last look around. I saw that our mealworm collection was still there in the window, and I just couldn't bring myself to leave them there, as they would all die. So I grabbed them and took them home, and they're actually pretty fun to watch. You know, I'll be sitting at the table and I'll look up and I'll see, you know, them wiggling around, and I've actually taken a little bit of time and just watched them a little bit. Interestingly enough, mealworms aren't really worms. They're the larva stage of something called the darkling beetle. They have a 4-stage life cycle with the egg that I can't show you, but then we have the larva stage, which is right here, the actual mealworm, and the pupa. They're kind of fun, then a little scary looking. You see that guy kicking around there? I always thought the pupas would just hold still, you know, kind of like a chrysalis for a butterfly, but these guys, they just scoot around like crazy. And then the darkling beetle here, oh, I don't know, beetles are kind of scary looking, but that's a darkling beetle. It's really unhappy right now on its back. Yeah, as far as taking care of these guys, I just put them in a bed of oatmeal, not the same oatmeal that I count and eat. Of course, this is whole grain oatmeal, and I have the mealworms in there, and they need a water source, but the water source is actually pretty easy. I just slice up little bits of potato and put those bits of potato in there, and they use the potato to get their water. It's pretty cool. Of course, you want to make sure you don't leave any of the bits of potato in your microwave, because then it gets kind of gross in there. So, but yeah, just a few slices of potato, and that'll be good for a couple of days. And like I said, they're kind of fun to watch. I'll look over it, and I might see the mealworms wiggling around, or I'll see a beetle just really moving all over the place. And so, hey, stop that. This is social distancing. We talked about that. I've talked to you about social distancing. Yeah, how do you like me now? Anybody else want to get too close? Fun fact, mealworms are actually very nutritious, high in protein and zinc and iron. Of course, not as high in protein and the other things as crickets are. So the good side of mealworms, though, is if one gets out, it's not going to keep you up in the middle of the night with all the chirping. So that'll be it for this week. Next week, we might just start out with, well, probably ought to talk about flossing, I suppose, eventually. Have a good weekend.